Monday, November 8th. The year is 2021. On my metric, it says 04 dot dot 28 p.m. And then it's EST, which is Eastern Standard Time. That's the metric the humans use here. It's about to sunset. The sun has not set yet, but it's about to. I can see it, and it's the way that it's shadowing out the window. But it's November. We just fell back an hour, which I know changes metrics somewhere, but I don't know how to get to Adonis as goddess NYX in bodice, still needing Adonis. He did not, I wrote earlier today, I'm like, he's Thomas Jefferson on a nickel. I'm Nicole. I had a Korean once when I was a kid. Jenny's mom used to call me Nicole. Always, I wasn't Nicole, I was Nickel, which I always thought was a funny spin on the whatever as being in the U.S. We're using what I call dollhouse on the funds, on the money for a specific purpose, unbeknownst to myself, still in the field. Other than to direct and orient myself with an anchor of reality. So now I know that there was a special naming ceremony at some point for whom I belong to. He took on my first name, but in a male format, so he didn't lose anchor, and it matches my father's middle name, not his confirmed church name. Not that he's church-like anyway, but in Prince things, because there's principality, there's municipality, and I'm lost somewhere in the 4 decades I've been here, with steadily declining whatever. I was out in the field today. I was out in the park. That's what they call the local plaything for the children, and the parents take them there, I guess, and it's also the local meeting spot where parents get together. So Anthony, we brought the basketball. He was playing, I guess it's hoops with a net, is what they call it, HOOPSNET, for basketball on what they call basketball court, but it does not have wood. It's blacktop. It's street, STREET. So Brendan's dad wound up coming out again. He had his son in a friendly jersey, I suppose. I liked the message on the back, Jamais en français. I do not know the color of this particular team, though, leaves me uncomfortable while I'm traversing in this hole with this unity. Also, for that matter, being this gigantic lake on the river Styx as Goddess Nyx and Goddess Onyx. There's, see, for me, the name Jamais, or James, is Alexander James. It's not the child I have with me on the court at this point, but it reads friend in French. It's J, and then it's apostrophe, and then it's Ami. So that goes to FMAM, JJ, and then a son, and then there's a DJ. Because this gets confusing on reading. So anyway, so I was speaking with his dad, and I made sure I mentioned the funny glasses from the fad, FAD, that was let out in the public, whatever, it's like a gag gift, I guess, GAG. I think these are the words that the humans speak in this section of Dollhouse. And so I said, I have something. I said I was writing this morning. I was like making mention of the glasses. I said, because I have special vision. I call it rhinoceros vision. I was like, sometimes I see things and like I was like, do you know a rhinoceros in the wild? I was like, it doesn't have the best vision to see far away and to like recognize objects necessarily, but it's got this special thing because like when a rhinoceros is coming at you, you know it sees you. So I was like, I got something like that going on. I was like, but sometimes it like I whatever in serendipity, like I by accident, I got rhinoceros vision. So that happened. Um, and then we were talking about reading, which I said, I mean, like, I used to love books. I used to love any kind of book I could get my hand on. I would just like to read. Didn't matter if it was a different language, even if I couldn't read the language, I liked to skim it, scan it, and digest it. Somewhere in the decades, that gift, that talent was taken away from me. And unbeknownst to me, like I didn't have it became blind to me that it was taken away. I didn't even recognize because I was busy doing whatever I was doing. So now George and I were talking, and I'm like, like when you read, you have to like stretch your imagination. You use your brain in a different function fashion. There's a like you have to reach for it. It's a different like cycle. I was like, but all this like TV coming at you, it's like they've already taken away all the imagination. It's like somebody else's story, somebody else is acting it, you're witnessing it. There's no creativity involved in your witnessing it. It's boring as far as I'm concerned. I was like, but I know sometimes like you have to learn something, which is important, but again, that goes back and forth between rather reading or witnessing or learning it fast on the fast pace. I was like, but it doesn't really leave you anywhere to go. There's no like new discovery. There's no reach. There's no anything. So I said, so that's that. But I'm having a hard time reading at this point and cognitively holding the information. So I try to pair as much as I can in short clips and bursts. So this way I don't lose it because it's important. These are important field notations for the amount of medical crimes I'm experiencing between the loss of memory throughout my life, loss of body function, loss of awareness, loss of basic instinct, loss of ability to help oneself and find help elsewhere, loss of spouse, like my built for, more importantly than anything, was taken from me, and I don't know why that relationship never was cultivated or was never solidified or was taken away from me. So that's that. So anyway, so I verified for George the glasses and the fact that the rhino vision, I don't always have like facial recognition. So he said to me, he's like, Facebook, they were talking about taking away facial recognition. And I was like, that's pretty amazing because I'm like, now which one are they talking about? Are they talking about like scanning the photos for like other people on Facebook, or are they talking about like when you go on your Facebook coming through the camera to facially recognize you to make sure that the page that you're going to is really your own page and then to follow that trend? And I was like, because with them, it could be anything. So he was like, that's a good point. And I'm like, right. I was like, that's why I don't get hung up on that, what they are doing necessarily. Because if they need some kind of whatever, they're either going to find it or they're going to put it together, and whatever, and whatever. By the way, in the same park moment today, on November 8th, 2021, for everybody being, there was I think it's chinois, or chinois, en français, chinois, Chinese present, but I am not quite sure. They were wearing Gucci. Koreans normally, I mean, I've seen the Koreans wear Gucci, but again, I don't know who's involved in what, so that gets a little confusing. But this woman had like a sash of Gucci on, but the Gucci symbol is the broken machine, and the magnets being hung the wrong way. It's two C's backwards in some of their graphic art. At least in this local area it is, and that's the GUCCI in alphabet. I don't know brand marketing and brand management if that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what they're sporting on the outside, and I don't know who's following it. On the same note, there was the athletic coach like dad that looks like, I mean, I find him so admirable. Like, he just runs. Like, the whole time he's there, he's running after the kids, he's letting the kids run after him. I find it so nice to have someone energetic, because he's a different kind of energy than the kids playing that normally play on the basketball court. They're like more muted energy, but he seems to be like a different kind of energy introduced. I don't know why. So he was playing with the kids, whatever, which was nice. And I was just trying. I mean, like I observe it, but like from afar. Again, it's like objects just moving. But I know there's some key energy points that are important for what was present. So Gucci brand management, I don't know, but they seemed to carry themselves whatever in. Then I stopped at the library because Linda made a big thing about it to get a thick book for Nucci, THICK, in reading. And when we went in, I mean, I don't really go there, so I'm not the geography of the library on this one. I'm not comfortable there. This is not my library. I liked Connecticut, and I liked Goose Hill, which was Cold Spring Harbor's library when I was a kid. But anyway, so Bayside's library, I was in there. They sent me over to the section. There was a guy there. He kept pushing Tom Sawyer for Nooch. Don't know why. So there was a thin book of Tom Sawyer and a thick book. So he started with the thin book to give Nucci, Cat Scratch, Roman numeral 3, and which is 2012, the Mayan calendar baby. And then I said that he needed more of a thicker book. I was thinking Hardy Boys, because that's what I heard. I read Babysitter's Club as a kid. But then he said, no, he says, Tom Sawyer, like, here, it's a good book. You should really read it. And so Nucci was like, we really don't know. We're not avid readers. And so that happened. So then we walked home. But Nucci was shooting hoops today, which was nice. He was in a large group. It seemed like there was a large group of people that came out today. And then there's two other little boys that Anthony stopped playing basketball, but they didn't have a ball, so they asked if they could borrow Anthony's ball, which I said that they could. And so they played by themselves. I think they were brothers. They looked similar, very similar. And so they played with the basketball, and then they returned it to me. And they did not give me a hard time. They were really great about returning the ball to me without any, like, other kind of interaction, which I thank everybody for. And let's think about it. And so that was the experience at the park today, after I did whatever I did with and I said to George, I said, I went on Amazon. Amazon has them labeled as disguise glasses. I said, I didn't know, because there used to be one with like a 3D like look to them, and now it's just like cardboard with like a pupil cut out. I don't know when that changed or why, and if the wording changed, but that's important to document and note, because I'm in a 22 and I don't have 55 that I am communicating with in order to check these things, which I know are incredibly important. And then they mentioned today on Google Thomas Jefferson. The back portion of the nickel is the house, I think is what it said. Or there's a house in Virginia. So, that's important. I'm still in the state of New York. I'd rather be in Virginia. They say Virginia's for lovers. I really don't particularly care for the Excelsior or the Empire State myself. It's not my cup of tea. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. Oh, and the reason why I mentioned that to George is he's got some R eyes going on in his neck of the woods. So I thought that knowing what the R stands for, it's not Romer, it's Rhino. Because the Alexander James, the Benjamin Daniel, and the Cat Scratch are all covered by Rhino, not by Romer necessarily. Because Romer is where the tiger claws came and scratched the fuck out of me, so that's not a good sign. And it's also, Jason wears this lightning bolt symbol on his forehead, literally, that he can't erase, that he was the one who caused it. So that's a discernible mark that he can't deny. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. I'm still traversing this, and I've got a lot of biological war crime locks on my genetic, on my biomatrix, and I don't know why. All I know is that high magnetics and barometric pressure is off, along with the, it's almost like I told, yeah, well, it's almost like gravity's off on my legs. It just feels like my legs are heavier than they should be when I'm trying to walk. Like I have resistant bands on them constantly, and it's hard to catch my breath with the amount of pressure my lungs are able to inflate to, which decreases my oxygen. Kind of in a house doctor file of my own privy. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken.